they need to do a better job presenting a picture in the region of the Iranians as the aggressors in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, and elsewhere, particularly these days in Yemen, because that's where the Biden administration has decided that's where they've decided to put their emphasis for the moment. I mean, if the Houthis develop a Hezbollah type organization, if Iran develops through the Houthis a Hezbollah organization, and it's right on the Red Sea, just opposite a Chinese base in Djibouti, that is not in the interest of the United States. It's not in the interest of Israel. It's going to work to the long term to the advantage of China. I don't think even foreign policy experts in the United States, even seasoned foreign policy experts, have that kind of picture in their head. They certainly need that. The other thing that I think they could do, the Saudis, is that there needs to be a common front between the UAE, the Israelis, the Saudis. They need to all be standing up and saying in unison to the Americans, you are going the wrong direction. I think there's one of the things that the Biden administration is trying to do by hammering the Saudis is to break up the cooperation that was developing between the Israelis, the UAE, the Saudis, and so forth. They went to see what the administration has done essentially is it said that we Americans will help you Saudis defend your sovereign territory, but we will not support you in any military action outside of your sovereign territory. Meanwhile, the message to the Iranians is you have a legitimate position in Iraq. You have a legitimate position in Syria. You have a legitimate position in Yemen. Why? How come the Iranians are given all the spaces in between and American allies only have their sovereign territory supported? But when the United States does this to its allies, when it starts telling them you can only support your sovereign territory, each one kind of goes down into a protective crunch or protective crouch, and they start dealing with their relations with Washington in a purely bilateral way. I think that what they need, whether there's an actual peace agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel or not, I think they need to cooperate very closely in presenting a common picture to the government, but especially simultaneously to the American people.